Please come.
I was asked, I'm not sure exactly why, but the fact that I'm a lawyer entitles me to give you a very clear understanding of what R2P stands for. But nevertheless, here I am. Let me indicate as well at the outset that I'm a criminal lawyer. I say that only because I think the word criminal is so apt a word to employ in describing what is going on in Burma. Not only what is going on in Burma, but what is happening in the rest of the world. The fact that I'm a lawyer, I suppose it gives me some sense of why it is people don't like to go to lawyers, because they often get bad news. Some of what I'm going to tell you is hopefully not going to dampen your spirits, but will hopefully give you a little bit of background and perspective on what the responsibility to protect doctrine, where it came from, and its present status. I found it to be incredibly ironic on one level to discover that the responsibility to protect doctrine, the concept was given life in 2000 when the Canadian government, Jean Chrétien being in power at that time and Lloyd Axworthy being the foreign minister, established the International Commission on Intervention in State Sovereignty. Doesn't allow us the time to follow that particular path. So the idea that this may set a precedent which could serve as a cover for some individual countries, the United States, China, to use it as a cover for invading a sovereign state and hiding behind this doctrine on the theory that they would be protecting and helping and saving human lives, I think really doesn't hold water. This is a crisis. It's a crisis of incredibly large and impossibly to comprehend dimensions. And it's a crisis that demands immediate and critical action. Some of the concerns that people have mentioned in the past about an intervention of this sort leading to issues about how do we get out, how does the country get out, how would the country be divided between a number of different sovereign states, really is of no consequence in this particular issue. Let me just close, and I hope I have been of some assistance to you, at least in understanding a bit of the background of what the doctrine says. The doctrine clearly supports, and it has been brought forward by and introduced to the Security Council by France, that the doctrine would be implemented. There is no question in law that this doctrine has relevance and could serve as a means of the United Nations going in and acting to really relieve the situation in a very critical way. As we all know, the major problem has been that this goes through the Security Council, and countries like China and Russia have vetoed this power. Ultimately, the issue has to come down to China's willingness and will to really bring about a fair and equitable result. It is absolutely incomprehensible to pick up a paper on any given day and to see two articles juxtaposed next to one another, where you see the way in which China has reacted so quickly and so efficiently in bringing aid to members of their country who have been so devastated by this earthquake. And then in the next paragraph to read about how China is standing in the way of Burma getting relief in a manner similar to what they're providing, not only what they're providing to their country, keeping in mind as well that China has opened their doors to allow international relief to come into the country. It is absolutely incomprehensible. Some people are of the view that what they are doing is an attempt to appease some of the controversy around the Olympics in Beijing and hopefully placate some of the opposition to that. My comment and my feeling is that if China really wants the Olympics, and if they really want to do something that stands for the principles of fairness, humanitarian aid. And what the Olympics really stands for, this is clearly an opportunity of a lifetime for them to step up, put aside the responsibility to protect, put aside the laws, but really do the right thing and be the driving force behind providing aid in an efficient and in a critical way to a country that desperately needs it and stands to suffer tens of thousands of deaths if that aid is not provided. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you very much for your insight, interpretation of responsibility to